Hi guys, hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be picking our TBR for July, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have been, I guess, in a reading slump basically all of June. It's June, what's today? It's the 24th, and I've literally just finished my third book. I honestly am just like not in the mood for anything, so we're gonna be really heavily relying on this TBR jar this month. I have no idea where today's video is gonna go. A lot of times I go into these videos kind of like with at least a mood that I'm in, and this month I've got nothing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick some books for July. If this is your first TBR jar with me, here is my jar. She's in a cute little flower dish, and inside we have 3 different color prompts. Each of the colors do mean separate things. So we have our green prompts, which is kind of like the majority of the prompts in here. Those are just like regular ones. And then we also have our orange ones. These ones are kind of more of my challenging ones. I used to kind of call them my bad ones, but they're not really bad. They're just more challenging. And then we have some purple ones. These are what I call my active prompts. And typically I need my phone for the majority of them, but the occasional one I'll need like another person, a pet, I'll need to like go somewhere to complete the prompt. So that's kind of the gist. Let's get started. I typically pick 5 to 7, but honestly, I'm kind of thinking about maybe only picking 4 and then doing like a Kindle wheel spin, because legitimately I did not even look at my pile, my TBR pile from last month, which is really annoying because I really wanted to read those books. I don't know. I've been in a weird mood. Anyway, first prompt we have is a green one. Let's see what she says. Ooh, okay, this is actually perfect for the fact that I'm like in kind of a slumpy mood. This one says, the shortest book on your TBR. Ugh, okay, this jacket was kind of a mistake. It's kind of hot. Picked it up from an estate sale a while ago, and it's got like seashells all over it, so it felt very like summery, but it is a jacket and I'm a little hot. I think my actual shortest book is something like this. It's gonna be one of these types of books where it's like a collection of short stories, and I don't want to read a collection of short stories this month. Actually, you know what? My shortest books are being poetry books, and actually I feel like that would be perfect. Let's see what our shortest one. We've got this one, literally thin as a piece of paper. And this one in particular, I've actually read some of the poems already anyway. So maybe I'll just finish this one. I got it like 2 years ago, so it's about time. But we also do have this one. This is The Girl Aquarium. This is by Jen Campbell, who is a fellow booktuber. And this one definitely looks more summery. Not that we have to like pick summer books, but it does look summery because it's got like an elephant in the ocean with a flamingo. I mean, just by feel, I think it's gonna be this one. But let's check the page count. This one has 66 pages in it, and this one has over 100. So we're gonna go with The Girl Aquarium. Next prompt, let's pick this one, and we do have our orange prompt. So again, it's gonna be something a little bit more challenging / something I might not want to do. So this one says, a book you don't know anything about. That's actually one of the better prompts, I feel like, for one of these, because the benefit of the way that I shop for books, which is by covers, a lot of the books that I own, I don't really know much about. So hopefully we can find something good. Frankly, I'm gonna completely ignore the top row because those are my oldest books, and again, we're slumpy, and on a good month, I'm not really keen to read those. So we're just gonna ignore that shelf exists. Ooh, okay. We could do something like this. This is 10,000 Stitches. This is the follow-up to, what's that book called? Half a Soul. I read Half a Soul, absolutely loved it. So I purchased the other 2 without knowing a single thing about them. So this would be a good contender because I did really like that book, and it is kind of short. And I feel like shorter things when I'm feeling slumpy is good because I can just kind of like, it feels like I'm getting through more things, you know what I mean? Okay, what else do we have here? I actually feel like I do know a good amount about each book. I think it's because whenever I get a new book, I do a book haul and I talk about what the book is about. So I do have, even if I bought the book without any kind of knowledge about what it's about, I eventually figure it out. So this actually is harder than I thought. We could do Renegades. This one is one that I've read the synopsis for several times, and I still just for some reason cannot retain it. I have no idea what this is about. I just know that it's kind of like sci-fi, and this is something that I've heard so many good things about, specifically like last summer, I feel like. So maybe I could read this. We also do have Abby Jimenez's Just for the Summer. I got this purely because it's from Abby Jimenez. I just don't know if I'm in like a romance mood, honestly. So we're gonna put this one back. Oh my god, I've never been in a slump like this before. I'm literally like looking at my books, I'm just like, I don't care about any of this. I think I'm just gonna pick between these 2, and I think we're gonna go with this one because I was kind of thinking about using, do I want to read this though? Ugh. Being in a slump is literally the worst. Like, I want to read, but I just like am not in the mood for anything. Usually when I'm in this mood, I read like a smutty, spicy book, and that usually gets me out of it, but I don't really have any physically right now. I mean, I could do this one. This one is spicy, and this is one of those ones where like I have read the synopsis, but the synopsis gives like nothing. So even after reading it, I still don't really know what this is about. This one I was actually thinking about making an option for the book club for July. So between these two, I honestly am not really in the mood for spice. We're gonna go with this one. We're gonna do 10,000 Stitches. All right, prompt number 3. And we're gonna go with this one because it is wrapping around my finger like a little ring. So clearly she wants to be picked. This one says letter generator, and I don't put these prompts back in the jar when I'm done with them, but every year I dump out my jar and then refresh all the prompts. So I've already done this one a couple of times in the past and it never works out for me. Maybe if we do a wheel, we'll have better odds. Okay, so let's go ahead and spin. And my phone has been weird and not like screen recording properly when it comes to these kinds of things. So I'm going to show you as well as pop it up on the screen somewhere over here. I don't know if you can see that, but we got A. I'm sure I have something that starts with an A. Ooh, okay. We do actually have Apollyon, which is the 4th book in the Covenant series. And actually this month, one of the things that I was kind of thinking was to just, since I'm not really in the mood for much, was to actually like finish the series that I'm in the middle of. And actually I pulled myself a little prompt from that green jar, which is basically my entire physical TBR behind me. And I ended up picking Gold, which is also I think the 4th book, 4th or 5th book in the Plated Prisoner series. So I was kind of thinking maybe for July I'll just read more books in a series. And actually, you know what? This is the 2nd book in a series, which we've already picked. So maybe July, the theme of the month will be finishing the series that we're in the middle of. And also another thing that I need to read, which would be finishing a series, is, where is she? This book. This is All of Our Demise, which is the 2nd book / like follow-up to All of Us Villains. The only problem is, even though I have the physical copy of this, I really enjoyed listening to the 1st book. So I really wanted to listen to the 2nd book as well, but I could not find it for free anywhere. So I actually just signed up for a free Audible trial so that I could listen to this for free. So this is actually also like pre this video already on our TBR for this month. So we're gonna put that to the side as well. Prompt number 4. We're gonna do this one. We've got a green prompt, and this one says, a book with a cartoon cover. So when I wrote this prompt, I was thinking of stuff like this. You could say that this is a cartoon too, because it's like an illustration, but this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like this kind of drawing. Honestly, I kind of hate this prompt because typically cartoony covers are actually books that I don't really read very often. We're gonna pick a different prompt. I don't like that one. Prompt number 4, take 2. We're gonna do this guy, which is another green one. This one says a gifted book. Okay, I love that. When someone gifts me a book, I don't like it to sit on my shelves for too long, so I'm actually really excited about this prompt. Here are some of the oldest ones that I have. This one is The Accidental Medium, and this one I feel like is a cute little contemporary book. Then we also have The Deep, which is a horror novel. And then I have these two, which are part of a series. But since I'm trying to like finish series this month, I don't really want to start a new one. So we're gonna go ahead and put those ones back. So we've got The Deep and The Accidental Medium. I'm kind of thinking this one, honestly. I read The Troop by this author and I really enjoyed it. It was very gory, but like, I don't know, I really liked it. Like I liked his writing style. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually stop there with just the 4 prompts because we do also have those other 2 that I added. And then also I do have my book club. And also actually, my friend has a book club where they kind of like focus on spicier books. Her book club read Direbound this month. I haven't been able to read like the last 2 or 3 books, I think, of her book club, and I feel so bad about that. So I wanted to really read this one. It's the one that I voted for. It sounds so freaking good, and I just have not been able to get to it. Like, I've not even gotten to my own TBR. I hardly read my own book club book this past month, so I really want to try to read it in July. I don't remember exactly what it's about. Let me pull up the synopsis, actually, so I can tell you more about it, which this is actually kind of reminding me that I didn't say the synopses for any of the books. So let me actually run through these really quickly. So we have The Girl Aquarium, which again is a poetry book. This one is Jen Campbell's first collection, and it says that it explores the realm of rotten fairy tales, the possession of body, and the definition of beauty. That sounds so cool. Weaving between whispered science and circus, she turns a cracked mirror on society and asks who gets to control the twisted tales hiding in the wings. Okay, that actually sounds so cool. I've literally never read the synopsis for this before. And then we had Gold, which is again the 4th or 5th book in the Plated Prisoner series. This one is kind of like a King Midas retelling. And then we have All of Our Demise. This one is a fantasy about like a competition. Basically one member from like, I think it's 6 or 7 families has to compete to the death to have final control over high magic. There's like low magic and high magic, and the magic system in general is really cool in this one and kind of different because the reason that this illustration has like rings and stuff, like you put the magic and spells into jewelry. I thought that was kind of cool. And then we have Apollyon. This one again is the 4th book in the Covenant series. This one, oh my gosh, I read this so long ago, which is one of the reasons why I immediately was like, yes, I need to read this because I've already started forgetting. If I remember correctly, it's about a girl who like is running away from the Covenant because she was raised by her mom who always kind of like talked really negatively about them, but they end up catching her. She goes to like school to be part of the Covenant or something like that. Yeah, a bunch of stuff happens. I don't know. It's kind of like fantasy school / fighter warrior type of vibes. And then we have 10,000 Stitches, and this one we pulled as like a book that we don't know anything about, and I kind of want to keep it that way just as like in the spirit of the prompt, so we're gonna leave that one alone. And then we have The Deep, kind of scanning over the synopsis. This one is about a plague that is decimating humanity on a global scale. It causes people to forget small things at first, like where they left their keys, then the not so small things like how to drive or the letters of the alphabet. Their bodies forget how to function involuntarily. There is no cure. But far below the surface of the Pacific Ocean, a universal healer hailed as ambrosia has been discovered. In order to study this phenomenon, a special research lab has built, you know what? I don't think I want to read this right now. It sounds interesting, but I'm realizing I'm really not in the mood for it. Okay, so this was a gifted book. We're gonna need to repick this one. Honestly, none of the books that I showed you before are really like at the peak of like what I want to read. So, ooh, actually, you know what? I was recently gifted The Luminaries. I think it's a competition, and a fantasy competition is always a win for me. Specifically, it's about a girl named Winnie Wednesday, and her dad was exposed as a witch. Their family was like shunned. So on her 16th birthday, she takes on the deadly Luminary Hunter trials to prove herself true and loyal and like restore her family's name. So I think we're gonna do this one instead. Now, circling back around to what I was doing before, Direbound, let's see what this one is about. So this one says Fourth Wing meets The Hunger Games in this spicy page-turning romantasy where humans and dire wolves forge unbreakable bonds and fight for survival at all costs. So there's also gonna be trials in this one as well. Maybe that's why I wanted to read it. Okay, so the dire wolves, first of all, are not shifters. I thought they were for some reason. It sounds like they're just an actual dire wolf, and humans and them have like a connection because it talks about riding them. It looks like she's potentially like an unwilling participant in the bonding trials. From that name, I'm assuming that's where you bond with a dire wolf, which might be the Hunger Games reference because, not the Hunger Games, Fourth Wing reference, because in the academy, they had to like be really good for one of the dragons to like want to choose you, which is one of the things that I really loved about that book. Like the whole dragon choosing process is really interesting. So we're having that basically with direwolves instead. There's that. So those are all of the books that are going to be on our TBR for July, but we still have one more to choose, which is going to be our book club book. And typically I do get requests from you guys and I put them in a jar and we just kind of like pick 4 together here. But I'm filming this very much on a whim. The end of the month really snuck up on me. Somebody else mentioned, actually my friend that has the book club, I got a notification on my phone where she was like, hey guys, like the month is coming to an end, and I'm like, oh my god, it totally is. So I basically, long story long, did not get any recommendations from you guys because I haven't even asked yet because the month completely snuck up on me. This video, very unplanned. So what I'm gonna do instead is just pick 4 different options with you guys now, and hopefully that's okay. I do apologize, but also, to be completely honest, last month I didn't really get too many recommendations anyway, so I don't know if you guys like didn't see that post or just don't care what I pick. Not to say that you don't care, but like you'll just go with the flow. So either way, let me know if you have any recommendations for August. Leave them down below. The first option that we have is going to be Renegades, like I mentioned. This one was a book that I've been wanting to read myself regardless, but then I also feel like somebody requested it like a couple months ago, so this is going to be one of them. And then the other one that I'm going to do is Zodiac Academy. I think this was an option for our very first month, and it was the least picked out of all of the options, so I don't really have high hopes that this is going to win, but it is a book that I've been really wanting to read, and actually a few of you also have been really interested in this as well, so maybe this will be the month for it. I don't know. Ooh, also, I really want to do The Rose Bargain. I think honestly this is kind of even more than Zodiac Academy at the top of my list. I've been hearing so many good things about this book. I've had several of you be like, literally you need to read this. So we're gonna have this as an option. I'm kind of leaning towards this one for our last option, Fable for the End of the World. I just think this sounds so fun. It's about a live streamed assassination competition, and I believe there's like a sapphic romance involved. So just as a refresher really quickly for our book club books, we have Fable for the End of the World, The Rose Bargain, which this one is also a competition competition, but this one's kind of more of like a Regency era, and it involves the Fae, and there's a competition to win the hand of the prince. And then we have Zodiac Academy, which is about a magical academy. And then we have the Renegades. And this one, honestly, I do want to go into a little bit more blind, so I'm not going to read the synopsis. And with that, that is my July TBR and our book club book options. By the time I put this video up, I think the poll will also be up. So I'll leave a link to my Fable book club down below if you want to vote on our book club book and read with us. It's super, super fun. And that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye, guys.